U.S. President Joe Biden has said that Washington will not support Israeli strikes on Iran's nuclear sites in response to its ballistic missile attack. While the Israeli Prime Minister vows that Iran will pay for the attack, Biden has urged Israel to act proportionally against its regional enemy. This comes a day after Iran fired more than 180 missiles at Israel, an operation Biden previously described as ineffective. Biden has now said that all 7 G7 nations agree that they have a right to respond, but should respond proportionally. He also said more sanctions will be imposed on Iran, and he will speak with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu.
We'll be discussing with the Israelis what they're going to do, but all 7 of us agree that they have a right to respond, but they should respond in proportion.
According to sources, Israeli officials have told U.S. counterparts that they are finalizing targets, timings, and means for a response to the attack. Although the U.S. wants Israel to consider potential consequences, this time, unlike Iran's April attack, the U.S. is not pressing Netanyahu to refrain from retaliation. In fact, what you saw on your screens, the U.S. military has released footage showing its warship firing a missile defense system that it says successfully shot down Iranian ballistic missiles directed at Israel. Iran's supreme leader has claimed that the presence of America and European countries is the root cause of war and tensions in the region. In his first remarks following Iran's missile attack on Israel, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has said that regional countries are able to manage themselves and will live in peace if they leave.
In our region, the root cause of problems that's causing all these wars and conflicts and hostilities and anxiety is the presence of those that claim they are after peace and calm in the region, namely America and some European countries.
Meanwhile, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian sought to rally Asian countries to its side as he visited Qatar. Pezeshkian visited and arrived in Qatar a day after Iran's attacks and Israel's retaliation, and he warned of a strong response to any further Israeli actions against Tehran.
The security of the region is the security of all Muslims, and we do not want any war or bloodshed. Since I assumed the presidency, every speech I've made has emphasized our quest for peace and security. No nation or region can prosper amidst a war. We were left with no choice but to respond, and if Israel decides to retaliate, then it will face harsher reactions.
Pezeshkian added that the United States and European countries should tell Israel not to destabilize the region, and the Qatari Emir said at the press conference that they will hold mediation efforts to end the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Qatar and other international mediators have been working on a ceasefire agreement for Gaza, but the talks have stalled for months now. And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani sent us this report from New York.
Tensions are running high between Iran and Israel after their ambassadors clashed at a UN Security Council meeting here on Wednesday, with each side labeling the other as a quote-unquote terrorist state and threatening escalation. The conflict began when Iran launched a massive missile attack on Israel, prompting Israel's ambassador to the United Nations demanding severe consequences against the Islamic Republic. Meanwhile, Iran's ambassador, for his part, Amir Iravani, responded with a warning that his country would take further military action if it was attacked. Outside of the United Nations, President Joe Biden announced that he would not support Israel should Israel decide to attack Iran nuclear sites, emphasizing the need for a, quote, proportional response to Iran's missile attack. The G7 leaders have agreed to impose additional sanctions against Iran. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.